All right. Even if you're a Republican senator and you are still holding firm to the idea of delaying any Supreme Court nomination hearings for one Merrick Garland until after the election, does that mean you still rule out meeting with the guy when he's making his rounds on Capitol Hill? A good question asked Republican Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe, who joins us right now. He is open, I understand, to at least meeting Judge Garland. Is that still the case, sir?
You know, the judge has some Oklahoma connections, and I've been a policy for a long time. If someone calls and wants to talk to me, I'll talk. He called yesterday, and we had a short visit, but a nice visit. The opening remarks from me were, it doesn't make any difference who you are. I'm not going to support anyone nominee by Obama during this election year. Now, I did that for a number of reasons. But one is that that's been a precedent for 139 years. So I made it very clear to him. He seemed to be a nice guy. We had a nice conversation.
All right.
That was
now,
all on the phone.
Many of your colleagues are against even meeting with him. I think that some were open to, I think in Chuck Grassley's case, a phone call. But I agree with you. I mean, there's obviously no harm in just meeting him, especially if you stand the potential of holding hearings on him, albeit until after the election, right?
Sure. Well, yeah, no, I have no objection to that. But again, my situation is a little bit unique because we have the Oklahoma connection, and I actually knew him in the past. So obviously, yes, I did take his call and I visited with him. And I don't think that he'll want to have a personal visit. I made it very clear what my position was, and I wasn't. In fact, yesterday I said even if the president should nominate George W. Bush to be on the Supreme Court, I wouldn't confirm him either during this time.
You know, do you think this is getting out of hand, though, Senator? I understand what you're saying. I raised this with Senator Orrin Hatch yesterday, that Democrats have played fast and loose with this and the so-called Biden rule. And but isn't this a good opportunity for you guys to stand up? Well, this nonsense ends. We'll at least hold confirmation hearings. If we don't like the guy, we'll shoot him down like we've done other times and Democrats have done with Republican choices. That this is getting crazy.
Yeah, well, a lot of things are crazy around here, Neil. But in this case, no. In fact, I applauded Mitch McConnell. We were in recess when the time came that he had to make a decision, a quick decision, and it happens that I agree with that decision. And and you've said it, and you've heard the quotes by all the Democrats under the circumstances that they had in the same circumstance. So we're doing what has been done for the last 139 years, and we'll continue. At least I'll continue doing it. Maybe the others.
But when was this? When was a confirmation hearing delayed until after an election?
It's always been on a presidential year, on an election year, during an election season. It has always been that way, and that dates back to 1883.
Well, I know the 1988 condition was a different case because two of President Reagan's prior nominees had been shot down, so his final, Justice Kennedy had got dragged into the new year. But it had happened. What worries me about this procedure and policy and thinking, Senator, is that then we're writing off the last year of a president's term. We're writing off the last year of Congress's term, and we're blaming it on the election or whatever. By that math, you're almost presupposing nothing gets done anywhere. And sure enough, when it comes to Washington, nothing gets done anywhere.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. We're doing a lot, and sometime I'd like to do a segment on your show to demonstrate exactly what we've done by Republicans taking over the United States Senate. Now, on this issue, though, this is one that has been with us before. It's one where we staked out the same position the Democrats staked out when they were in the same situation. And I don't blame the president for trying to demagogue this thing. I mean,
he's not demagoguing it, right? He's fulfilling his constitutional duty. He says, now you argue
that sounds good.
I know, you're arguing you're trying to fulfill your constitutional duty, but do you fear that he might get the upper hand here by submitting a name and you guys are sitting on your hands till after the election? I know what you're saying about, you know, hearing for the will of the people in an election, but he has until January 20, 2017. You have a lifetime to end the term of this particular Congress. It's almost shouting to the American people, no, it's too hot and volatile for us to deal with this kind of an issue now. So what other issue won't you deal with?
Well, no, that's it. That's it. You know, what we're talking about here, Neil, is we knew it wasn't going to be easy because we went through the same thing on the other side when the tables were turned. And it wasn't easy for the Democrats at that time. But right now, We knew that in advance, and this is something we feel very strongly about. Why take someone from an administration that's on its way out the door? And instead of that, let's look to the future, and let's do it the way we've done it for the last 139 years.
So if it was a Republican president in his final year, Senator, you would stick to that and say, well, I hate to tell you, but your last year, it being election year, and by the way, these election years get longer and longer, that we're just going to hold off on this because the other side will do it too, and back and forth, you know.
Yeah, the other side would do it too, but it's very rare now that you have a situation like this that comes up during an election year, and we're doing what's consistent, what the Democrats have done, and I don't see any reason to trade to change over a 100-year tradition now.
All right, well, we can argue about whether it's tradition and whether there were exceptions there, but real quick, you have no problem at least meeting with the judge in the meantime, having
I don't personally.
There's not a problem with that.
No problem.
Would you urge your colleagues to do the same, sir?
Well, no, this is the Oklahoma connection, a guy that I knew a long time ago, and I certainly would welcome any opportunity to talk to any of our friends from Oklahoma.
So real quickly then, if hearings were now, would he be someone you would consider? Does he have a lot of the basic positions that you would support? Could you see him getting supported in committee and, by the way, in the United States Senate?
Well, I would only say this, Neil. Several of my colleagues, the Republicans, have pointed out decisions he's made in the past having to do with abortion, gun control, and all of that stuff. I haven't done that. But so I'm sure that if we got into it, there would be things I'd like and wouldn't like. That's not the issue. The issue is, are we going to confirm any of the president's nominees during an election year? And my answer is no.
All right. Senator, you stick by your position. I'll say that. Senator Inhofe, very good seeing you.
Thank you.